British Academy Scotland Awards 2020. Please welcome your host, Edith Bowman.
Hello, I'm Edith Bowman. I am delighted to be here in Glasgow for the British Academy Scotland Awards to salute the achievements of our screen industries over the past year. A big welcome to you, wherever, however you are watching. Thank you so much for being with us. And we'll be joined by some very special guests right here in BBC HQ on the mighty and beautiful River Clyde. But first, here's the thing. To support production through this period of change, EE, in collaboration with Bafta Scotland, have created content to showcase how 5G technology is enabling crews to adapt, evolve, stay connected, and more importantly, keep shooting.
I'm Laurette McKenna-Dunn and I work as a location manager in Scotland's film and television industry. Communication is a big part of my job, and I often have a team of scouts to help me find locations.
Hi guys. Hi Laurette. Big day today. Okay.
It's my job to find the locations in a film script and help bring the director's vision to life. I love that I get to travel with my job and see so many amazing parts of the country. It's not just a job for me, it's my passion, and I love what I do. We're always under time pressure to find the right locations quickly, so being able to review locations remotely over video call and receive and send big files means that I can work much quicker than I used to. I'm so glad we have the technology that enables us to keep working through this tough time and allows me to do the job I love.
Wow. That is making me hugely emotional, but just how beautiful did this wee country of ours look on that? And our screens have been our window on the world, and now more than ever, we need to celebrate the brilliant work coming out of Scotland. Our guest presenters in the studio tonight are all locally based and following COVID protocols: hands, face, space, knees and toes, and other well-kent faces will be here from far and wide thanks to the magic of technology. So just so you know a little bit more about Bafta, Bafta Scotland is the country's leading charity, promoting and sharing expertise from the screen sector with audiences far and wide. I'm so grateful and happy to be a very small part of the work they do all year round, nurturing new talent and sustaining a major learning and events programme. To give you an idea, here's a flavour of an online session from last week with the producers of shows nominated in the television scripted category, presented by Paul English.
Sarah, how did it feel to get the nomination, in fact nominations this year?
Well, obviously it's always brilliant to have your show recognised by your peers, really, and I think particularly for Elizabeth is Missing, which was 6 years in the making between when we optioned the book in manuscript sort of 6 years ago, I think it was, to when it went on air. So it was a labour of love. So and also I think the subject of the film means a lot to us, and I think anything that gives more attention to the subject of dementia is a brilliant thing. And also we made the show entirely in Scotland, so it's sort of very pleasing to have a nomination in Scotland.
Yeah. How about you, Emma?
Quite similar, really. We're so proud to have been nominated. It's absolutely fantastic. Likewise, it was a labour of love for us. It's an important subject. Coercive control and family annihilation is not an easy subject to tackle, and being able to bring this story to the screen was really important to us, and then for people to recognise it and to have enjoyed what we did it's just fantastic. It really is.
Jules?
I think as the other two nominees reveal, it was a year when there was some fantastic TV being made in Scotland, some really high calibre and really important stuff, and we hit an old man with the car, so I'm not quite sure that we matched the gravitas of the subject matter, but I absolutely echo the pleasure of making a show entirely in Scotland from start to finish, including all the posts, some amazing facilities, with only 5 non-Scots on the whole team, including me. And also to be the first drama on BBC Scotland to be nominated, in that year is fantastic. So thank you.
A fantastic category. Good luck to all those nominated in TV Scripted tonight. We'd like to say a massive thank you to our partners, BBC Scotland, STV, Channel 4, Screen Scotland and EE for their continued support. It's been, to say the least, a challenging time, but on the positive side, it's pushed us to find new ways of working. The streaming boom fueled a growth of film and TV studios in the UK, and public service broadcasting demonstrated why it matters to audiences. BBC News programmes attracted huge audiences. The Bite-sized team, thank you, were on air within days to meet the first school closures across Scotland. And despite COVID restrictions, Guilt started filming a second series. Woohoo! BBC ABBA's championing of Scottish women's sport goes from strength to strength, and a short-form COVID diary series saw personal perspectives from Gaels around the world. Meanwhile, at STV, escapism was in high demand. The renaissance of network drama continued with The Victim and Elizabeth is Missing. They had the first big entertainment show back in the studio post-lockdown when cameras rolled on Catchphrase in July. Not so much goodbye as hello, Mr. Chips. Channel 4 had some fantastic Scottish-made programming, which kicked off with David Tennant in Dead Water Fell and continued with the likes of Jimmy's Farm and Scotland, My Life in the Wild. Screen Scotland worked in collaboration with production and offered continued support and funding across all areas. And an epic new thriller, The Rig, was announced to be filmed on an oil rig and at First Stage Studios, the new Scottish film and TV studio space in Edinburgh. By all accounts, some very encouraging news and times ahead. Now though, before we get to our first award, shall we have a montage? I love a montage. Let's take a look at some of the stunning work nominated tonight.
Never laid a finger on you.
Hey, your boss thinks Boris Johnson's a bab.
Is that an exclusive?
Let's get that.
Is that an exclusive, Chief?
Yeah.
Something on your mind, soldier? Well, I got me a problem, Miss Gray. You see, I promised that I'd lay on a camp entertainment for the guys. Oh, and you want to borrow my dress?
Now, that's unusual in a village postmistress. This one's been touched up.
During the war, I expect, when the Yanks were here.
You get that on camera?
Yes, you can.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a long night.
Such great stuff. How good are Stanley Baxter's legs, by the way? This year we have a sparkling new audience award in partnership with Screen Scotland, which you, the public, voted for in your tens of thousands. Thank you so much. Sanjeev Kohli will be here in a bit to tell us all about it and announce the winner, so sit tight for that. For the first of our special awards, we honour an extraordinary and wide-ranging career with the Bafta Scotland Award for Outstanding Contribution to Craft, presented to a hugely respected editor who's worked on shows with Michael Palin, Kirsty Wark and Maya Angelou, Phyllis Ironside. The award for Outstanding Contribution to Film and Television will be presented to a giant of entertainment and comedy, Scotland's very own Stanley Baxter. Absolutely fantastic. And I think we've got a great picture of him. There he is, collecting the Bafta for Entertainment Performance in 1975 from Princess Anne. Or maybe it's actually an outtake from The Crown. Oh, do you know what? It's so difficult to tell fact from fiction these days, isn't it? Come on. So we are up and running with the award, first award of the evening for this year's highest achievement in entertainment. Here to acclaim the nominees and reveal the recipient is an award-winning stand-up, actress and author who's known for the sharpest elbowed comedy in the world. Please welcome one of the funniest women on the planet, it's Janey Godley. Woohoo! Now, before you say anything, I would personally like to hand out a virtual award from me to you to say thank you so much for keeping me so entertained through this whole shebang.
Oh, bless you. It's just me in the house with a camera and a really dry sense of humour.
Well, keep it going. Keep it going, Janey.
Well, 2020, Edith, what a year. Really difficult to keep the whole country entertained, but these people were up for it. Let's have a look at the nominees.
Entertainment.
Boris Johnson.
Oh, Bam. Old Etonian Bam as well.
Bam. It's a very good Scottish accent you're doing there.
Scott Squad, the Chiefs' election interviews.
Boris Johnson, Bam or no Bam?
Bam.
Boris Johnson, Bam or no Bam?
I think we've established that.
We've established that. Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson veers between the two.
Oh, that's an interesting thing to say. That's good. Get that in social media. That'll panic you, eh? Hey, your boss thinks Boris Johnson's a bam.
Is that an exclusive?
Let's get that.
Is that an exclusive, Chief?
Yeah, that's an exclusive.
I said he veers between the two.
Veers between the two.
Never quite reaches.
He doesn't ever reach full bamhood.
Exactly.
Nor is he never not without a trace of bamminess.
Selling Scotland.
In the first 2 weeks, it was online. It was the most viewed YouTube clip in the world for a couple of weeks.
What are we going to call her?
Fanny. I want to call her Fanny.
We can't call her Fanny.
My mum's a Fanny. Granny was a Fanny. She'll be joining a long line of Fannies. A long line of Fannies?
What's that song they wrote about you? I'm a big fan of Shireen Nanjiani.
Yep, I come from a long line of Fannies.
Test drive.
Research, which of these foreign words do British holidaymakers find most difficult to pronounce? At the question crossroads, turn left for croissant. Go straight ahead for gracias. Turn right for paella.
Oh.
Paella?
But we call it paella, but they say paella.
Paella.
No, paella.
Paella.
If you knew it was paella, you would say paella.
Aye.
But we think it's called paella.
And the Bafta Scotland Award goes to Scott Squad, the Chief Selection Interviews.
I'd like to congratulate myself on this richly deserved award. I would also like to commiserate with the losers, Grado and that baldy boy who did the thing about the adverts. Don't be too downhearted. There's no disgrace in playing second fiddle to a titan of broadcasting. Thank you to whoever it was at the Comedy Unit and the BBC Scotland who assisted me in putting this programme together. And thank you, of course, to my supporting cast. The First Minister, Dickie Leonard, Willie Rennie, and that Tory boy who threw in the towel. This BAFTA will take pride of place on my mantelpiece, right next to my Pitlochry Man of the Year 2005 award. Thank you and good night.
Congratulations and much thanks to Janie as well for being here. Scotland is a superpower in gaming. Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, Red Dead Redemption, all huge hits. So the winner of tonight's best game will be part of a great Scottish success story. To present the award, an award-winning comedian presenter, he's the man who makes Love Island worth listening to. It's Ian Stirling.
Hello, Bafta Scotland. Ian Stirling here. I've been asked to present yet another award after last year's success, where my mum said my reception was warm, but not as warm as some of the more famous faces. We'll take that. She mainly meant you didn't get as good a reaction as Martin Compston, but we're fine. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here on this Zoom call. This has taught me two things, this award. One, we make a heck of a lot of good computer games in Scotland. And two, I don't have any white walls in my house. It's been a nightmare filming this. Anyway, if ever there was a year to become immersed in an alternative game world, surely this was it.
Game.
Autonauts, a game that encourages players to build, create and automate, setting their own world in motion for the power of automation. Cloudpunk, a neo-noir story where your character must follow two rules. Don't miss a delivery and don't ask what's in the package. It's like Uber Eats, but for contraband. And Dead End Job, the ghost blasting game where you get to rescue citizens by working for the #1 paranormal pest control experts. That text, by the way, was from my agent asking if I filmed this video. And the Bafta Scotland Award goes to Autonauts.
Thank you so much for this award. It means a great deal to us. Thank you to Curve's publishing director, Simon Byron, for his unwavering belief in us. Thank you, of course, to the jury for their considered conviction. And biggest thanks of all to the Autonauts community for their eternal warmth and support. Thank you.
Right then, now this year we are very lucky because we have a brand new award, the Audience Award, which is extraordinary. First time ever where we are handing over the power to you, the audience. 6 hugely successful TV shows, and you had to decide which one you thought was going to be worthy of a Scottish Bafta. Thank you to everybody that has voted, because you voted in your tens of thousands. But here to tell us a little bit more about the award and a little bit about the nominees, he's going to be popping in throughout the show, I'm very glad to say. It's Sanjeev Kohli. Hello. I just want to hug you. I know it's not allowed.
So lovely to be just outside your COVID radius. Just checking. There you go, we're good.
How are you?
I'm okay, I'm good actually, yeah. Do you know everyone's gone half an octave higher? How are you? I'm fine.
So excited to see
tells its own
people.
story. I know, and to wear a suit. I nearly wore all of them at once, but that would have been weird.
I'd have to roll you on this day. How's COVID been for you? Have you found it productive? Have you been able to do what you do brilliantly?
Well, like most people in the business, I've had to diversify. So after painting the skirting board, I had to go make my own vaccine. So I just used stuff from the larder, and yes, I've got a larder, I'm sure.
Wow.
And
doing well.
But it ended up more like, I don't know, breakfast cereal, sort of like a granola stroke muesli. So I'll be marketing that as the Corona Crunchies in the new year. But no, I have had to sort of get with the programme. I turned 50 this year, Edith. I know you don't. I know I look like a toddler. I know it's moisturiser. But I did get my first directing credit because NTS ran this brilliant scheme called Scenes for Survival. And they asked me to perform a piece which I co-wrote with the amazing Isabel MacArthur. And the idea was, it was Isabel's idea. It was a quiz, a Zoom quiz, but with a school reunion at the same time. So I did it in my front room with my iPhone. So I'd never really directed something that would actually be broadcast properly on my iPhone. You know, I've done like wee viney things, but not anything that long. So that was a proper learning.
Yeah.
And I think we've all had to. You know, I mean, I've got that stepladder with the quilt for the voiceovers. I've done all that stuff. So it's been interesting. We've had to learn stuff.
Yeah, and adapting.
And adapt, yeah.
But what's great for this year, you know, being part of Bafta Scotland as well, and the team, is that we have this audience award.
Yeah,
so what can you tell us about it?
Well, basically, it's like you said, it's the first time we got the public involved. And the criteria for the nominees was that they had to get Scotland viewing, first of all, get them watching. It was also what's got Scotland talking, creating a buzz, so anything that got a hashtag could get on board with this. And so much stuff means Scotland did get people talking. Also, which Scottish shows gained traction outside of Scotland and maybe shone a light under Scotland to UK and global audiences, but also the shows listed should present a diverse and representative view of programmes that are created in Scotland. Now, all of the candidates certainly fulfil those criteria, but above that, they're outstanding productions in their own right, and they're all amazing productions.
And they're so diverse as well, aren't they?
They are
That's
diverse
what's brilliant.
in genre and in tone, and it's a brilliant cross-section of what's happened over the last year in Scotland, definitely.
So we're going to pepper a few nominees throughout the night.
Pepper with a gravy, yes. So the first two are, well, first up is Black and Scottish. Now, this is a groundbreaking film, incredibly prescient, sadly, in 2020. Basically, filmmaker Stuart Kearsey-Murray had grown up in Scotland in the 80s at a time we felt there weren't any obvious Black and Scottish role models. So he's a dad now, and he wanted to make this film for his daughter. So he gathered together Black Scots of all generations and backgrounds, and he asked them, what does it mean to be Black and Scottish? So it's an authored piece, very honest, and it's a very, very watchable film, which apparently has garnered something of a global audience, which is great. And the second in the category, I have to say, is one of my favourite shows from the past decade, actually, Guilt. So this is BBC Scotland's first drama commission, which is important. And it's the story of two distant brothers who accidentally hit and kill an old man with a car one night on the way home from a wedding. And because they're both over the limit, they decide to cover up their role in the death. Now, it was written by one of our best writers, I think, Neil Forsyth, who you might know from Bob Servant, but brilliant, brilliant writer, a gem of a writer. And it's a proper, compelling, dark drama with really funny lines as well, and a brilliant cast led by the outstanding Mark Bonner and Jamie Sivers, who don't normally work in Scotland. So it was nice to see these two Edinburgh boys actually cutting about in Edinburgh. It's compelling, it's dark, it's witty, it's funny. It certainly ticked all my boxes.
OK, well, let's take a look then, shall we, at these two nominees?
Audience Award in partnership with Screen Scotland. Black and Scottish.
Meeting all these amazing and diverse people has made me optimistic about the next generation of Black Scots. Hopefully their advice can inspire my daughter Yasmin to feel proud and confident as she grows up to be Black and Scottish.
I would want other Black girls and mixed race girls to be like brave and be who they want to be, and not like, don't let anyone like hurt you or like do anything that's mean. Just be yourself. I made this picture and you had to write something at the back. And I said, I am different because I have curly hair, and then I am different because I've got brown skin. I'm just glad to be different, yeah.
My name is Stuart Kearsey-Murray. I'm a filmmaker and designer, and I am also Black and Scottish. In this film, I want to explore what that means, especially for my family and in particular for my 8-year-old daughter Yasmin. I hear people saying the same things to me when I tell them I'm from Scotland.
You'd open your mouth and they'd be like, oh my gosh, you're from Scotland, as if it's an impossibility.
And they'll make jokes like, what are you doing in Scotland? And why would your parents come to Scotland?
Oh, I didn't know there was, Black people in Scotland. I'm like, yeah.
I remember definitely feeling like, oh my God, I think
I might be the only black person in the world. I think when you see another black person, you're kind of like, oh my God, there's another one. Like, I must find them and I must be friends with them.
So I want to gather together from all over Scotland a group of successful black Scots from 3 generations to hear their stories and ask what advice they can pass on to my daughter. This film is for Yasmin and her generation.
There's so many mixed and black Scottish people introducing little drops of their own other heritage into Scottish heritage and creating something different.
Yeah, we're here and this is what we look like and this is how we speak.
We've always been here. We've always been a part of this country's history and we will be into the future.
In a word, black and Scottish is fabulous.
My name's Yasmin Trasimri. I'm 8 years old and I'm proud to be black and Scottish.
Guilt.
Jake is one of 2 brothers. Him and Max have an estranged relationship.
He was kind of the apple of Mum's eye, and I wasn't. And he was very much the artistic, sensitive artist to my driven megalomaniac.
The fact that Mark and Jamie went to school together, I think you instantly see that chemistry between them.
We went to Leith Academy, which is just down there, together.
It's well documented that I've known Mark for a long, long time, since we were both 11, but never worked with him before. This is brilliant. We couldn't choose a better thing to be doing together.
I know.
It's great fun. I'm back in Edinburgh, albeit
Yeah.
for just a few days, but it's just great to be back home.
Right from when I first met them, I thought, oh, this is gold. And that informed a kind of shooting style for me. Quite a lot of the time, what that became a really enjoyable thing of doing was just going, let's just let Jamie and Mark be in the shot together, like trap them together and just see what they do when they're together, how they look at each other. The only problem with that was sometimes they're just always laughing during their takes.
When they're on set together, they're like brothers. There's a lot of energy. Also, sometimes they're like kids when they're on set together. Like a lot of singing and private jokes, but they've got such a great chemistry.
Sometimes you do a job and you have to kind of work on the relationship. You know, you have to kind of do relationship exercises in order to build something with someone. We've came along with that, so we can afford to work on other things, you know.
He's brilliant. Jamie's brilliant. I still find myself admiring his work when I'm supposed to be acting with him. I'm going, oh my God, you're really good.
I've had a ball working with Mark. It's been a long time coming, but it's great, you know. I've had a real great time with him.
Jake, I've lost my business, my house, Claire, and I'm coming round to the idea that I've broken my nose, so with all respect. You used to look after me when we were wee. When it was the 3 of us. You used to look after me. I think I've spent 30 years waiting on you to turn back into that kid. Wasn't the 3 of us, it was you and Mum and then me. She loved you. She didn't like me.
Our first 2 nominees. We got 4 more to share with you throughout the show, and stay tuned to find out the audience favourite later on. Right now, though, we've reached the award for single documentary. To reveal the results, Bafta Scotland welcomes a very busy actress, a former Bafta breakthrough Brit, and recently seen in The Nest, and alongside the likes of Hugh Laurie and Helen McCrory in the big political drama, the fantastic Roadkill. Please, it is the fabulous Katie Lung.
Hello Bafta Scotland, it's a real pleasure to be with you to present this award. The power of non-fiction storytelling is its ability to be educational, inspirational, and to enlighten us to other people's realities. The nominated productions this year show us a historical David and Goliath story with the locals of Skye, an insightful tell-all journey of a resilient Scottish presenter, and last but not least, an exploration of the extraordinary relationship between man and bird. Let's take a look at the nominations.
Single documentary. The Battle of Skye Bridge.
My family, income 3 or 4 Polis, right? Come with us, and your girlfriend, your kids, all sort of around you. And taken away in front of my kids. Happy birthday.
Being Gail Porter.
I've been called nuts, crazy, bonkers, that naked bird off the Parliament. I've been given all sorts of names and labels and all sorts. I don't want one. If you want one, take it. I don't want one. Your beauty. I know there's something not quite right wired in my brain. Doesn't make me a bad person, but doesn't mean that you can give me a badge and tell me what it is. I'd rather not have one, thanks very much. I'd rather just be Gail. Quite happy with Gail.
Bowman.
Where's one of them real birds then?
You get that on camera.
Wait, whose bird is that then?
And the winner of the Bafta Scotland Award is Being Gail Porter.
Thank you very much for a Bafta. Wow, amazing. I think I once won a Weetabix pencil case from Asda, but this is great, so thank you very much. I'd like to thank all the team who made Being Gail Porter, Louise Thornton, Harry Bell, and Claire Pilley, who put up with me. Well done on that one. And we've got Richard Collier, Grant, Gary Stott, Anne Quinn, Jack Harrison, Diane Dunbar, everybody at Tarn Television and BBC Scotland. Thank you ever so much for doing this, and all my friends that contributed, Charlie, Louise, Chris Cowie, Grant Stott, everybody else that contributed, and thank you ever so much. This is so cool. My bathroom's going to look fabulous. Thanks very much.
Ah, well done, Gail. Amazing. Right, next it's the award for the year's best work by an actress in television. Now, to present this award, a Bafta Scotland award-winning actor and EE Bafta Rising Star nominee who told us last year he'd spent an hour backstage Googling how to fix a bow tie. Just to tie one. Recently seen in Steve McQueen's fantastic small act series, it's Loudon. Jack Loudon.
Good evening, Bafta Scotland. It's me, Jack Loudon. Just waiting for the applause to die down. Sorry I can't be there in person tonight, but I'm working. And I filmed this in my trailer, so you'd believe that I'm working. And also, I guess, to offer a ray of hope that there is still work out there. Even if you look like me. A brilliant performance is what makes a character truly memorable, and our three wonderful nominees certainly are no exception to that rule. Whether that's making us laugh in a comedy about addiction, or raising an already very high bar as a stubborn grandmother searching for the truth, or a rising star playing a troubled teenager struggling with a very hard choice in the hope of a better life. So let's take a look at their work. I learned that.
Actress. Television. Lois Chimimba. Group.
Just really well with my clients, you know, we have a bit of a laugh. And I can see they're genuinely transforming themselves physically with my expertise and guidance, and I'm just really loving motivating people. Like if somebody's like, oh God, Carly, I can't lift that. I'll be like, honey, yes, you can. Lift it now. And they'll be like, Carly, I can't go up another flight of stairs. And I'm like, get up these stairs now. God, yeah, I know sometimes they get scared as well. And I'm like, Carly, I'm gonna be sick. I'm like, get up now.
Glenda Jackson. Elizabeth is missing.
Invisible or something. Oh no. Still here. Oh, I want to scream. Mom? Don't you mum me. I want to scream, but it won't come out. It's all stuck in here. All the feelings are in here. And
Mirren Mac, The Nest.
You got a criminal record?
No. Emily's already done a check. I mean, feel free to do another one.
What about your psychiatric history?
What about yours? You're edgy, man.
Are you a Christian?
Would it make you more comfortable if I was?
Might explain why you do something so charitable.
It's not charity. You're giving me £50,000.
And the winner of the Bafta Scotland Award is Glenda Jackson for Elizabeth is Missing.
Thank you, Jack. Now, you'll see that everyone so far this evening has been joining us by video tonight, and we're so bored of Zoom chats, we thought we'd try something a little bit different. You might say the old-fashioned way. Let's see if we can chat to the fantastic Glenda Jackson right now on the phone line. Hello, Glenda. Massive congratulations.
Well, thank you very, very much indeed. I rather think that your dependence upon the phone is you don't have to actually look at me, but I'll put that to one side.
We have a beautiful picture of you up on a huge screen, so we are looking at you longingly.
Oh, wow, you are doing well.
Listen, congratulations. This was such a special production, an incredible performance as you've been brilliantly rewarded for. But for you, what was the kind of, I guess, the thing that you got from reading the script that made you jump on board and be part of this project?
It was an issue that I'd been banging on about for quite some time. I mean, we live in societies where we're living longer, and these illnesses, which we didn't know because we died before they could actually strike us, are striking us now. And it's a wonderful book, and it was an excellent script, and the cast and the crew were just wonderful. And so it was a real privilege to be part of it.
Is it something in terms of as well when you're sent a script like this, it does kind of, I mean, had you read the book prior to the script?
No, I hadn't. I mean, it is a splendid book, and based on the author's direct experiences with her grandmother, and the script was excellent. And, you know, it's such a privilege to be part of something that, I mean, let me put it this way. Once the film had been shown, the number of people who came up to me, total strangers, and shared their experience because a member of their family was suffering either from Alzheimer's or dementia. And that is such, you know, it's such a privilege to be part of that and to see firsthand what the anguish is. And let's hope that these particular illnesses are going to go higher up the political stepladder so that we can really begin to tackle it in a comprehensive and national way.
I think it's an absolutely beautiful production, and I think you're so right in terms of it's more than just a wonderful piece of drama. It's got so much and a great thing for people to feel like they have a voice with as well. Glenda, huge congratulations, Glenda. It's so brilliant to have you on the phone to have a quick chat.
Well, thank you so much. I hope next time we meet, we recognise each other face to face.
I hope so too, and I can't wait to see what's next. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.
And you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was amazing, wasn't it? A good old dog and bone. Glenda Jackson winning the Television Actress Award tonight. Next up is the award for Specialist Factual, and to tell us about it is an ex-Marine and supporter of Prince Harry's Invictus Games. He's been twirling around the dance floor on Strictly Come Dancing with royal support. He reached the quarterfinals last Saturday, but had to bid an emotional farewell. An amazing achievement indeed. It's JJ Chalmers.
It is my pleasure to present this category. It spans history, science, natural history, arts and religion. It's described as the genre that explores and explains the world and makes us think about it differently. which sounds pretty amazing, and let's be honest, any category with the word special in it must be fairly important. These absorbing stories, they've uncovered the truth behind an email hack that threatened to undermine the fight against climate change, transported us back to 1970 when the Miss World contest became the epicentre of that era's social upheaval, and Greg Davies goes in search of the enduring appeal of one of his favourite novels.
Specialist Factual, sponsored by Deloitte. Climate Gate, Science of a Scandal.
And so I opened this envelope and some powder sort of comes wafting out of it. My first thought was that I may have been subject to a deadly substance, anthrax. All because I decided to study applied math and physics and then move into climate science. Yeah.
Greg Davies, looking for
In a
Kez.
final act of sabotage by the director, there is a technical problem.
Look, if I stand up. How did you get on with Barry Hines, Millie?
That's just not right, is it?
So...
You're still taller than me.
So, Millie, I understand you knew Barry.
No, what did...
Jesus Christ.
That's it. Last time
She's
I
made
did
me get
that,
on my
I got
knees.
banned out.
She's made me get on my knees. She didn't even know Barry.
So I stood up, and that was really quite something. And then I started the signal.
Miss World 1970, Beauty Queens and Bedlam.
And it dawned on him, and he was sort of looking around, sort of like, what's happening?
And so that was it, the moment had come. Well, I just looked up at the stage, and the flower bombs are just raining down.
The Bafta Scotland Award goes to Greg Davies, Looking for Kess.
Thank you, Bafta Scotland. This project was a joy to be part of from start to finish, and I'd like to thank the team behind it. They are Jenny Dames, the brilliant producer. Thank you, Jenny. The team, Phoebe Cottam, Tom Hayward, Dave Arthur, Frank Kilgour and Tim Neal. Thank you. I'd like to make special mention of our executive, Richard Bright, who, as many of you know, sadly passed away recently. Richard was the bedrock upon which the whole thing was built. He was a brilliant executive, and we're sorry that he's not here to see this. Finally, I would like to thank the great Barry Hines for writing that wonderful novel that has affected so many people and will continue to do so. And if you contributed, whether you worked with Barry, a member of his family, or just an admirer, if you contributed to our little film, thank you so much.
Congratulations. Time now to honour the year's best work in factual television. To tell us who's won, a presenter who knows a thing or two about bringing the real world to audiences on television and radio. Please welcome the fabulous Shireen Nanjiani. Slightly awkward with the clap, with it just being me, but rapturous applause for you.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you with us.
Great to be here. Well, the best non-fiction content takes us to places that are fascinating, enlightening and moving. The nominees keep their lens trained close to home. Darren McGarvey confronts rising poverty and inequality. Frankie Boyle embarks on his first stand-up tour since 2012 and takes in a heady mix of people and places. And Murder Trial, the disappearance of Margaret Fleming, allows us unprecedented access to a police investigation and the subsequent trial that gripped a nation. Let's take a look.
Factual series. Darren McGarvey's Scotland.
How many of your family are actually still kicking about that you could go and see or speak to?
Nobody.
Everyone has died?
Yeah. It's like 8, 9, 10 members.
When I come down here, it's like a family reunion. But when I go down to, like, my dad's bitty, it hurts us, because you've seen that, the mess of that.
Frankie Boyle's tour of
I
Scotland.
don't know how the production have set up a meeting with a hermit. I assume they've just shaved a time and date into a badger's back and released it into the woods. It'd be interesting to meet someone who's officially antisocial, because I consider myself to be a pretty gifted amateur at being antisocial. But what if I meet him and, like, compared to me, he's like Graham Norton or something?
Murder trial. The disappearance of Margaret Fleming.
Legitimate reason for a citizen to be burning human tissue in their back garden. This is not a good Crown case. It smacks of desperation.
The real focus of the case is that a wee girl was let down by social services enormously.
There should have been something, and how it went 19 years before they picked up on it.
I mean, how sad is that a life has just disappeared?
And the Bafta Scotland Award goes to... Murder Trial, the disappearance of Margaret Fleming. And let's...
There were lots of different reasons why we wanted to make these films, but ultimately it boils down to the belief that the justice system should be as open and transparent as possible. So huge thanks to the Crown Office, the Judiciary, Police Scotland for being so supportive. Thanks in particular to Lord Matthews, Ian McSforan, Thomas Ross, Ian Duguid, Paul Livingston. Margaret Fleming was lost and forgotten about tragically for so many years, and hopefully this trial and these films have done a wee bit to address that.
Incredibly powerful stuff. Huge congratulations. Tonight's next award is for Features. Announcing the nominees as one of Scotland's busiest and most versatile and brilliant television presenters, it's Jean Johansson.
Hello Bafta Scotland, I'm here in beautiful Spain. Can you see the sea there? Right, let me put this down so it doesn't go all over the place. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight, and I'm sure we can agree that property programmes are endlessly watchable and a staple of this genre, so it feels particularly apt that we get a peek inside some amazing places. So we head to the country with Kate Humble to escape hectic city lives in dream locations. We follow trusted gurus Kirsty and Phil in their 20th year of helping house hunters on TV, and visit stunning locations with 3 experts in a search for the best designed home in Scotland. Let's take a look.
Features. A country life for half the price.
Night. It's blowing an absolute hoolie here. There's sparks everywhere. When the cook said they were going to move north, I thought they were mad, but being here, being part of this, I completely understand why they fell in love with this wonderfully eccentric place.
After making its way through the village, the procession ends on the shores of Easterloch, where the bearers throw their torches onto a replica Viking longship.
Location, location, location.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Not got a lot of curb appeal, this house,
No,
has it?
we said on the way walking up, feels like we're coming to see our nan. That's not a great start, is it?
No.
Well, it's been lovely meeting you.
No, wait. Phil, stop mucking about. OK, what would you have to find inside to change your mind?
I don't know, a wine cellar, big jacuzzi. I think it has to be an awful lot at this stage.
Yeah. You two stay here and chat, OK? She's cruel. This is so harsh.
Scotland's home of the year.
You just sit here for hours, couldn't you?
Yep, it's definitely that view.
I love the way the glass sweeps all the way through into the what looks like the living space beyond. It connects the spaces, but they're still defined.
I noticed there's quite a lot of like placement of objects. It feels quite well thought out.
There's quite a lot of things dotted around, actually. Quite a lot of nice little objects. You've got the little dinosaur up there with the headphones on, you know, and the vase sitting there.
And a helmet. So does it suit me?
All great nominees. And the Bafta Scotland Award goes to A Country Life for Half the Price.
Good evening, Bafta. It's Kate Humble here. It's fallen to me on behalf of all the team at Raise the Roof to say a huge thank you for our award. Thank you, of course, to Emma Westcott and Ben Frau at Channel 5, to Steph and Tamara at Faber Bishop for telling the world about A Country Life for half the price, our amazing families, and, of course, the Channel 5 audience, because without you guys, I wouldn't be standing here now. And who wouldn't want to be here?
She ever indoors. I love it. Congratulations. Right, next up is the award for Best Short Film and Animation. Presenting it, the winner of last year's Bafta Scotland Award for Actor in Film for his astounding performance in the brilliant film Beats. While more recently we saw him alongside David Tennant in Channel 4's hit thriller Dead Water Fell. Please welcome Lorne MacDonald. I feel like I want to rave whilst you come on. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good catwalk.
It's great.
Pretty good.
A little bit more of a strut next time. Just
I'll
a
do
wee
it on the
bit.
way out.
No, yeah, great, perfect.
Okay. This category offers space for experimentation with a restraint on runtime, assuring that creative ideas nourish, flourish even. First time reading an auto cue. Which is exactly how we ended up with such a broad range of bunch. We have a colourful character trying to make sense of a failed relationship, a vivid piece on joys and fears of the last train journey, and a dark folk horror about justice. Let's take a look at the nominations.
Short film and animation. Betty. The Last Train.
Hi pal, you got a charger?
The Motorist.
Should I smash the windows and pull them out?
No. Let's give him more time to decide.
Did you get that? I could pull you out, but I'm not gonna. It has to be your decision.
And the winner of the Scottish Bafta for Best Animation in Short is...
What's this for? Oh, another one. Oh, God. Bloody millions of them. Right, thanks, everyone, for... I'm Will, by the way. Anderson, I'm an animator. Thanks. Apparently I've won another Bafta. Jesus. Big thanks to Richard Luke, composer, and Keith Duncan on sound, Mira Bedrush McDonald on the violin. Just joking. I was just joking about the having too many. You can never have too many. So just keep them coming. Thanks. Okay. Bye.
Well done, Betty, on that award, and thank you so much to Lauren as well for being here to present that. Our next category is for news and current affairs. As if there's been much in the way of news recently this past year. In fact, today, I should say, we planned it brilliantly that we would have Bafta Scotland on the exact day where the vaccine is started to be distributed. It was a good plan. To present this award, a true national treasure, someone whose introduction requires, well, just one word. Lorraine.
Hello, Bafta Scotland. Lorraine here. And oh, how I wish we could all be together properly, laughing and drinking and celebrating. But this is the next best thing, and it's brilliant that the awards can still go ahead virtually. Now, this award, whether it's asking hard-hitting questions, keeping us informed, or bravely searching for the truth, the impact of news and current affairs on our lives is huge, and never have we needed our bold and fearless journalists more. The nominees take us from 2019's defining stories of Brexit and the UK elections to the current pandemic and back to the past and Scotland's involvement in the Troubles. So let's take a look at the nominations.
News and current affairs.
Okay.
The 9.
An immediate reaction to that, please.
Well, I haven't heard the actual result, but I presume it's fallen because there aren't enough MPs in support. And if that's the case, then he won't be able to call the election before the 31st.
If I could just ask Rajdeep, who's just in the corner there, could you just confirm exactly what just happened there? If you want to come in very briefly at Rajdeep, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes.
Hello. Okay.
Sorry to speak on the spot,
That's
Rajdeep.
fine. So I understand that the ayes have it, but the motion has not got the majority required under the Fixed Terms Parliament Act. So basically, the government lost the vote tonight. Okay. If that's the clearest, plainest way to put it.
That is very clear. Thank you very much.
Scotland's lockdown disclosure.
This is Anna. She's 9. These are her grandparents, Mary and Andy Lehman and Dougie Chambers. Within a month, she'd lost all of them. 3 members of one family taken by coronavirus.
The war next door. Scotland and the Troubles.
I didn't know about the first bomb then. I was just coming, I didn't know about the first one. We got off the chopper, we spread out to secure the area when the second bomb went off. I had my back to it, I didn't actually see it. Yeah.
And the Bafta Scotland goes to The War Next Door, Scotland and the Troubles. Congratulations.
I'm Morag Tinto. I'm one of the producer-directors on these films, and I really wanted to say how much it means to us that Bafta Scotland recognise them in this way. I want to thank Steve Carson and David Harron at the BBC for commissioning these projects and guiding us through. And huge thanks to Brendan Hughes, Harry Bell and Diane Dunbar at Turn Television, and to our own team, Karen O'Hare and Andrew Chambers. And really, I want to take a minute to thank all of those people who helped us and tried to help us to gather memories and perspectives of a difficult time in our history. That wasn't easy either, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
What a lovely speech. Huge congratulations. Now to the second part of the Audience Award, where the winner will be chosen by the most important people in Scotland's creative industries, you. Please welcome back Sanjeev Kohli. Hello, sir. Now, as Kermit said, it's not easy being green, but we all know it makes sense. And so we are proud that the British Academy Scotland Awards 2020 is an Albert Sustainable production. This means that behind the scenes, our production team have made huge efforts to lower the carbon footprint of this show. And on screen, well, I have recycled last year's script and I'm daring to wear a borrowed dress. Sanjeev, I mean, eco-dressed?
No, rest assured, Edith, I've worn this outfit 3 times, once to address the Scottish Refrigeration Awards, and 2 years in a row to dress the Scottish Local Retailers Award of the Year. And also, I'm wearing these very, very, I don't know if you see from the camera, very, very slim-fitting trousers for a 50-year-old, but that's in honour.
Slender.
In honour of Stanley Baxter, because I've got cracking pins as well. Queen Anne they are. What a lovely set of pins.
Could not believe his pins in that.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. I'm very much looking forward to his acceptance speech later on as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've already seen 2 of the nominees for the Audience Award.
Yeah.
We've got another 2?
Another 2. First up is A Murder Trial, The Disappearance of Margaret Fleming. Now, this is an incredible piece of work. It basically gave us unprecedented access to an actual murder trial connected to the disappearance 16 years ago of a woman in Inverkip on the west coast. It was made by Matt Pinder, who's a fixture at the Scottish Baftas. He's won that many. They got another one, as you saw. And we get direct access to the work of the police and the prosecutors and the defence team, both in and out of the courtroom. Now, what I found particularly compelling is that we're so used to watching fictionalised accounts of courtroom dramas that watching a real one feels actually quite voyeuristic and very, very compelling. And it is all very real, so there is some spicy language, Edith, just to warn you.
My favourite.
And fourth up is The Nest. Now, everyone was talking about this. The Nest. Hashtag The Nest. A really, really good premise, this. A successful couple can't have a baby. They meet an 18-year-old girl by chance and they offer her life-changing money to be their surrogate. And slowly they realise how little they actually know about her. And this is a cracking story, told really well, with some proper twisty twists and some great performances from a cast including Sophie Rundle, Martin Compston, doing his own accent, thank you very much, Shirley Henderson, always a kite mark of quality, and Mirren Mack, who was a revelation, and as we saw, was up for a very, very well-deserved BAFTA herself. And also starring that amazing house, which got everyone talking and getting onto estate agents online. Now, the dialogue also felt really natural in this, which means, again, Edith, loads of sweary words. You might want to put your bowl of hot soup down at this point.
Let's take a look.
Audience Award in partnership with Screen Scotland. Murder Trial, The Disappearance of Margaret Fleming.
I think our biggest challenge on this was having to condense what was a year-long police investigation and an 8-week murder trial into 2 one-hour films.
Did you find any evidence of her being alive at all?
None.
There were literally hundreds of hours of footage, which in terms of the courtroom stuff was also multi-camera. We rigged courtroom 6 of the High Court in Glasgow with 8 small remote control cameras. They had to be as unobtrusive as possible so as not to get in the way, but also flexible enough to get us the coverage we wanted.
There is nothing sinister in anything we've done.
Okay.
Sound was an issue because we couldn't use radio mics, so 30 boom mics were dotted around the courtroom.
Silence. As silent as the grave.
Paul O'Connor and his team from the Complete Camera Company did an incredible job setting up and running the rig so brilliantly. The post-production of such a vast and highly sensitive amount of footage was managed by the wonderful folk at Blazing Griffin. Kudos and love to Audrey McColligan, who did, as usual, such a kick-ass job in the edit.
Margaret Fleming was dead before Christmas Day 1999, wasn't she?
Margaret Fleming is still alive.
You killed her, Mr. Kearney. And you spent the years since then telling lie after lie, cashing her benefits, living off Margaret Fleming. And the reason you lied is because you had to cover up the most dreadful crime of murder.
Away and bow your head.
For a story
The Nest.
which is so emotionally devastating, it's a page-turner.
It's an emotional drama that you have to sort of navigate, but it's a thriller as well, so you're never quite sure who's manipulating who's in the right, who's in the wrong. And even then when you think you figured it out, something will happen and it'll change again.
It's about need, it's about desire, it's about the lengths that we're willing to go to get what we want.
The scripts I just could not put them down. I was like this and racing through them, and I just thought the story is really exciting.
I don't think there's anything in it that's controversial for controversy's sake. I've gravitated towards the subject because it's intrinsically controversial and I want to get people talking.
I need some bread.
Emily made you a whole fucking meal you didn't touch. How much you had to drink? Look at me when I'm speaking to you. How much have you drunk? You don't give a fuck, do you?
Don't you touch me! Don't you ever dare touch me! You don't know nothing about me or my life. You come near me again, I will fucking kill you.
4 down, 2 to go. Another 2 great nominations for our Audience Award. Sanjeev will be back with the final 2 a little bit later on. But now to the first of tonight's special awards in the gift of Bafta Scotland. Bestowed in the memory of the distinguished makeup artist Robert McCann, it honours an outstanding career behind the camera in one of the industry's crafts. This year, the Outstanding Contribution to Craft Award goes to the editor, Phyllis Arnside. Given her illustrious career in all genres, it would be impossible to cover every aspect of what Phyllis has achieved. But here are friends and colleagues to celebrate just some highlights from a huge body of incredible work.
Outstanding Contribution to Craft in memory of Robert McCann.
Despite her surname, there's nothing remotely Cromwellian about Phyllis Ironside. She had a wonderful, sympathetic touch for the art films that we were doing.
These bold and vigorous paintings I've come to 10 Downing Street to see were painted by a group of 4 Scottish artists known as the Colourists. For them, painting was a celebration of life. Their instinct was to show the world in the best possible light.
She loved mixing music and picture and did it so beautifully on 2 or 3 of the arts programmes that I did for BBC Scotland.
In 1922, Etta and Clarabelle arrived here and embarked on a shopping frenzy. By the time the spree was over, 7 crates had been shipped back to Baltimore. Among very many other things, they contained 57 works of art. 6 paintings by Matisse, 4 bronzes, 22 lithographs, 4 pieces by Picasso, and a Renoir etching.
But most of all, I remember her editing suite, which was her own flat, which I think I wrote down in my diary was rather bohemian. But anyway, there it was, and we'd work in her flat with her husband in the background working on something else.
My experience working with Phyllis has been absolutely amazing throughout my career, throughout the 25 years that I worked in the television industry. Phyllis was one of the reasons that it was such a joy, a creative joy to do the job.
He was looking for a moment of grace to appear to him.
When we did the Pierre Bonnard together, not only did she have such an amazing visual eye to be able to put together the actuality footage with the rostrum of the painting so that it was seamless. The Guardian said that it was perfectly paced and a work of art in itself.
I think there was a sense of his watching from a distance often the street. There's this sense of him standing still and the world moving.
The ash tree was also a lovely experience that we did. That was Ghost Stories for Christmas with Christopher Lee.
Next day, Sir Matthew Fell had failed to appear downstairs by his usual 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock passed. 8 o'clock. The servants went and knocked on his bedroom door. The door was opened at last from the outside, and they found their master dead and black.
Phyllis was an editor when I first came into television. I was quite scared of her, actually. She was so good at her craft, but was also quite quiet and had a very withering look and didn't like when you didn't know what you wanted. And so that was quite intimidating. But she just edited some of the best work any of us have ever done.
Do you actually feel different postmenopausal as to you were before, or is that tied up in the breast cancer as well?
No, I don't really think about the breast cancer. But I think, it happens, and all the things I used to make jokes about are so true. You know, just your place in the world and how you feel about yourself, your general feeling of sexiness and libido, and it's an indefinable something that you don't have anymore.
Now, we've worked together since the days of 16mm film, right up to the digital age, and you've always been first and foremost a highly creative editor who's worked inventively with the material from within. Now, you first showed me that way back when we were working on a scene that depicted the Battle of Culloden. To show how outgunned the Jacobites were, you intercut charging Highlanders with modern battlefield tanks and helicopters. Genius! And it caused quite a stir too. Questions were even asked in Parliament about the political balance at the BBC. I felt strangely proud.
I've been really lucky to have worked with Phyllis, the wonderful Phyllis Ironside, on a project called After Sheku, which was a film that I made for BBC Scotland about the death in police custody of a young black man, and also Partition, Legacy of the Line, which is about the partition of India. Working with Phyllis is actually not like working, it's actually like two people sitting down and just having the most amazing conversation about story, about ideas, about concepts, about big themes, and kind of just figuring out how we're going to tell this story in a kind of cohesive way that's going to really pull our audience in.
Baka. People are laughing. Why are people laughing? Leave alone!
Kiss chase or aggravated stalking?
Oh my God. Oh, I see. And then she likes it, and now she's going to chase him back.
Kiss by the river, that shouldn't have happened. Oh, I'm following you. That's a bit sinister. All those things were regarded as somehow just funny and relatively innocuous, certainly by Benny Hill himself, I think, but also by millions of people who watched that.
And now, as if by magic, Charlie appears.
3, 2, 1. Wow. Oh, dude. Dude. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's closer.
That's amazing. That's a bit weird. It's really different. He really looks like him.
I really believed that we were going to make a film about Robert Burns as seen and experienced by me, Maya Angelou. But what I've found, what I've learned, is that Robert Burns belonged to me. I thought I knew that before we began, but now I really know that a man's a man, for I that.
Every single programme, I've learned something from her.
You've always brought a calm but steely focus to every project that we've worked on together.
Phyllis's clear-sighted ability to see the story straight away is what makes the whole process just such a joy.
Understated, brilliant, incisive, and actually great fun.
She really had a fine touch for how to put things together and to get the feeling that we wanted out of those programmes, and much of the credit for the way they looked is down to Phyllis.
Thank you, Bafta Scotland. This is fantastic. I'm really pleased and honoured to accept this award. It recognises not just me, but the craft of editing. The best thing about working as an editor in Scotland is the breadth of productions. You aren't automatically pigeonholed as one type of editor or another. To be working on a drama for a few months, then an observational documentary, then an arts programme, is for me great. The different challenges these bring, being able to engage with a variety of genres, is energising, and I love it. I've worked on literally hundreds of productions, both when in the BBC and then freelance. I started out in Manchester as the first woman processing 16mm film for the BBC, probably the only one ever, and then moved back to Glasgow in 1977 to join the BBC Scotland's film unit as a trainee assistant film editor. At that time, camera, sound, as well as editing, had assistants. We were all given training. not just in the BBC, but across the business. As with any craft, the best way to learn is by observing and working with experienced people, to sit at the feet of the master, so to speak. Today, there seem to be few opportunities for that learning process, a loss to the craft. We should change that. And of course, editors, we just cut out the bad bits. What an editor actually does is pretty much an unknown process to many. Our job is to help directors and producers make the best version of their film or programme. We're there to help shape the programme, and we need to get to the essence of the story. You need to make the best of the material you have, and you need to be aware of how the way you cut something together can change the meaning and the feeling, all while making it seem natural and seamless. So I want to thank all the directors and producers I have worked with over my 40+ years as an editor for putting their faith in me. And once again, thank you, Bafta.
Huge congratulations, Phyllis. Massively inspiring lady there. We now come to the award for writer, film and television. And to announce who's won, please welcome an actor who's proved he is an absolute star. All the way from Burniston to Outlander, it's the wonderful Richard Rankin.
Edith Bowman, literally the only person applauding in here this evening, because you are the only person in here this evening other than our wonderful...
Not anymore.
Well, here we are. I can't come any closer to you. I've been told I must stay here. So...
Shame.
I know.
Lovely to see you.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm all right. Although I have to say, Jack Loudon's lengthy pre-recorded presentations kept me in the wings an extra 20 minutes tonight. What happened to the red card system? You used to have...
True.
Jack Loudon. Some of us can't phone it in. We have to wait physically in the wings.
You are here in person, though.
I know.
Winning.
Well, there we go. Well, it's lovely to be here,
You
and
too.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, a first-rate script is the foundation on which great film and television drama is built, and this year's nominees have delivered all the goods. These include a contemporary thriller about getting away with murder, an adapted work of a moving search into the past, clouded by dementia, and a story that lifts the lid on Britain's gig economy. Let's take a look.
Writer, film, television. Supported by Screen Scotland. Neil Forsyth, Guilt.
You look tired, son.
I am tired.
I'm not surprised. After everything you've done, after everything you've been through. Well, you can leave all that right here with me. Let it go, son.
Andrea Gibb. Elizabeth is missing.
At the bandstand. She said she'd run after me, but she didn't. I never saw her again.
Gran.
Everybody said she'd run away. I didn't believe it. I looked and looked. I looked everywhere for her. Till I couldn't look anymore.
Paul Laverty. Sorry we missed you.
You just sign, please.
Yes. Are you helping your dad?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, get yourself some sweets on the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thanks
Bye.
a lot.
Bye.
See you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Oh, that's a third tip.
Proper gold digger, you, aren't you? I never get any tips.
Yeah, it's because you're not as cute as me.
Oh, you think so, do you?
I can text, phone, photograph, scan, sign, contact the customer. Anything else?
Richard.
Amazing.
Who's the winner?
Huh?
Who's the winner?
I don't know. That's some good telly and film, that. So let's see. And the winner is... Paul Laverty, congratulations. Let's hear from them.
Thank you for this prize, which I accept in the name of all the usual suspects at 16 Films who made this film. Our little story is about a delivery driver and a care worker, so many thanks to all the key workers who helped us and inspired us. Just last week, I spoke to a delivery driver on our street who told me that he'd finish work at 10:30 p.m. He was going to work a 14-hour day that day. It made me think that in 1810, Robert Owen called for an 8-hour day. That's over 210 years ago they called for that, so it seems to be brutal that here we are today with someone knocking their pan in doing a 14-hour day. So all the applause didn't do that key driver much good, all the good intentions. I think we have to impinge on corporate power. Pre-Victorian abuse like that has to be banned immediately. And maybe it might be a good idea that there should be a pandemic tax too, so that all the fortunes made by the big companies like Amazon should pay their fair share. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for this prize and this recognition. Hope you're keeping your marbles as best you can. Good luck and cheers.
That's a bit serious, Doug.
Next one's a comedy, alright? Okay, cut that.
Bye.
Oh, so glad you kept that in. It's brilliant. One of our greats, Paul Laverty. Huge congratulations. Now, to tell us about the award for Director Factual, here to tell us about the nominees, one of the truly great names of Scottish acting, from comfort and joy in the 80s to hits like Fleabag and most recently Rebecca on Netflix. Not to mention voiceovers, dressed up for the occasion. It's the one and only Bill Patterson.
Good evening, Bafta, Scotland. Yeah. Now, I'm old enough to remember when the legendary John Grierson, documentary maker and filmmaker, used to turn from a vista, sweeping vista like this, or a spinning globe, and present a tea time evening programme of films and documentaries from all over the world to wee boys like me in Scotland, 1950s or so. And so since those days, Scotland has always punched well above its weight in factual programming. And tonight's three directors are all at the very top of their game. Their unique vision brings us access and insight into a murder investigation and trial such as you've never seen before. The inspiring story of a long-fought victory for the locals of the Isle of Skye, and what it means to be black and Scottish. So in true Grierson fashion, let's have a look at the nominations.
Director, Factual. Stuart Chisimiri, black and Scottish.
Because all those things that are different about you are going to be the things that shape you and make you into the person you are. You be as loud and proud as you want to be.
You should embrace the way you look. Like, it's amazing that you've got two different cultures in you, and yeah, just like love yourself.
We need to do everything in this country to make sure a child doesn't get up in the morning to say, do I belong here? That should be self-evident that they do.
John McClaverty, The Battle of Skye Bridge.
The last motorist is charged, and staff who are now redundant collect the money raised on their last shift.
For the final time.
If there is a moral to this story, the moral is that just because the establishment, the authorities, decide that they are going to do something, doesn't mean to say that the people have to accede to that.
Matt Pinder, Murder Trial. The disappearance of Margaret Fleming.
Our job from the outset was to find her, which is what response cops do ordinarily. But this wasn't any ordinary case.
Carers of a woman are to stand trial for murder.
My first impressions were of something bad having happened to Margaret, but something which would be very difficult to prove.
And the Bafta Scotland Award goes to Matt Pinder, Murder Trial, The Disappearance of Margaret Fleming.
Thank you so much, Bafta Scotland, not just for this award, if I've been lucky enough to win it, but for giving me something to aspire to. It's such a shame we can't do this properly because there's a whole bunch of people I would be high-fiving and hugging and getting drunk with. Audrey, Paul, Lorraine, everyone at FICRES, Kenny, Colin, John, David and Steve at BBC Scotland, Hamish, Max, Claire Sillery and Patrick Holland at BBC Two, and in particular Ian Scully and Nicole. Thank you for trusting me with these incredible projects and helping me grow as a director.
Massively deserved, but also I think Matt deserves an award for the best craft, I would say, skills on an acceptance speech. That was phenomenal. It was beautiful. So emotional watching that. Well done. Tonight's next category recognises the year's finest achievement by an actor in television. This is a good one. Not that they aren't all good ones, but this is particularly interesting, as you'll see. It's an award which has been taken home by the likes of Mark Bonnar, Douglas Henshaw and David Tennant. Joining us to salute the nominees and announce who will be joining that list of distinguished winners is a rising star who's making her mark in international drama like The World on Fire and The Alienist. Please give a Bafta Scotland welcome to Julia Brown. Hi! Fabulous. Thanks for being here.
My catwalk better than Lauren's, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
I'd give you, if I had a board, I'd give you a 10.
Thank you very much. Shame we can't shake hands or anything. The craft of acting is about striving to create authentic characters. And tonight we recognise 3 truly outstanding performances. Not one, but 2 come from the remarkable Guilt. Max is a manipulative lawyer. Jake's amiable but aimless, and their brothers covering up a crime. While our third nominee shines in Sex Education as Eric, facing the highs and lows of finding and accepting himself. Let's take a look at their work.
Actor, Television. Sponsored by Audi UK. Mark Bonnar, Guilt.
I'm sorry, Max. I don't accept your apology. Ready? Let's just leave it. Just get them to post it or something. No, Jake, because that could arouse suspicion. And while you've probably aroused some suspicion through your signature fuckwittery, I'd like you not to arouse any more. So that puts me in the horrendous position of having to give you some responsibility.
Shuti Gatwa, Sex Education.
Why is your face not moving?
Because he bullied you. For years, Eric, he's a horrible person.
No, but people can change.
If he's changed, then why is he making you sneak around at night?
It's romantic. Something that you wouldn't know about because you're too busy pretending to have feelings for your girlfriend when everyone knows that you're actually in love with me.
No, take that back.
You take back what you said.
What about Raheem?
Oh, my God.
He's not ashamed to be with you.
Don't pretend to be all Team Raheem now.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think that that's what this is really about. You don't like being the one left behind for a change.
No, Eric, this is about you being so self-hating that you'd let yourself fall for someone who literally treats you like shit.
Don't therapize me, Otis. You don't know what my reality is.
Okay.
Jamie Sivis, Guilt.
I know I shouldn't be here.
Jesus Christ.
But someone has burnt down my shop and now you're all I've got. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
They burnt down your store?
Hi.
Who would do that to you?
Max got involved in money laundering. And then he got me involved, which wasn't something he felt I should know about.
That's why he did your accounts.
Angie, however this started, me and you, it's real now and honest. And I'm sorry, I'm so sorry what we did to your uncle. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about that night, just replaying it over and over.
He wasn't my uncle.
Good luck. The Bafta Scotland Award goes to... Shruti Gatwa for Sex Education. Congratulations, Shruti. Let's hear from him.
Hello, Bafta Scotland. Thank you so much for this award. It means the world to me to be, to receive this award and be recognised in Scotland, my body home. Yeah, I want to thank Netflix, 11, Laurie Nunn, Ben Taylor, and my mum. My ultimate thanking goes to my mum. And yeah, and Bafta Scotland, thank you so much for this award. It means the world to play Eric. And be a part of a show that is so empowering and inclusive. And so, thank you very much.
Ah, the fabulous Shruti. Massive congratulations, and apologies for anyone who hasn't seen Guilt yet for that massive spoiler in that nomination package. To present this year's award for television scripted is last year's Bafta Scotland Award-winning actor in television for a revealing performance as a miner in Chernobyl. He'll be joining the Caped Crusader as Police Commissioner Pete Savage in the forthcoming film The Batman. Providing his own dust visual effects, providing his own dust visual effects is Alex Ferns.
Good evening, Bafta Scotland. It's Alex Ferns here. Just giving you a big hello in my suit and my shorts. Couldn't be bothered to put the trousers on. Cutting to the chase, it's been a hell of a year for all of us. A tough year. And I'm sure we'll be glad to see the back of it. We've found our escapism a lot through television, the great television that's happening nowadays. And tonight's lineup is no different. All of the shows tonight, they challenge our concept of trust in so many ways. And so without further ado, let's take a look at the lineup.
Television, scripted. Deadwater Fell.
If Kate was hurting those girls, I was upstairs. They found me upstairs. So all I can think is maybe I saw what she'd done to them. And because if I'd seen I couldn't have watched my girls suffer.
Elizabeth is missing.
Why did he do that?
Mum, shush now. Come on, let's just go in the kitchen. Come on.
Give that to me. Give that to me! Get out of my house! Get out of my house! Get out of my house!
Come on, darling.
Ah!
It's all right. It's not your gran. It's the illness.
Ah!
Guilt.
What's that lighting? You've turned on the heated seat. Heated seat? Honeymoon Kickstarter and a cash bar. 80% of the world living in poverty, and folk like you are driving about toasting their arses.
That wasn't a wedding, Jake.
I'm not getting involved in
It was
this.
a glorified Ponzi scheme.
And the winner of the Bafta Scotland Award is Guilt.
Wow, thank you very much indeed, Bafta Scotland. This is absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to the other nominees, and we better thank some people.
Yes, we should. We should thank the cast, Mark and Jamie and the rest of the fantastic cast. Thank you very much.
And Jules Hussey, Wendy Griffin, and their brilliant production team.
Our amazing director, Robbie McKillop, and his fantastic crew led by Nanu Segal.
Creative Scotland, Mark Thomas, Expectation, Tim Hinks, Peter Ronald Fincham.
Karen Morton and Philippa Catt.
BBC Scotland, for years of support from you and Angus to Steve Carson, Gavin Smith and all the rest of the team. It's much appreciated.
And BBC Two, Gregor Sharp, Shane Allen, Patrick Holland, thank you.
And Tom Sear, Caroline Stewart, Laura Hill and Leslie Abernathy and your fantastic teams. Thank you all.
And I'd like to hugely thank Neil and Kirsty for incredible support over the years. And thank you so much for wearing matching jumpers. You look absolutely fantastic.
Ah, well done, Team Girl. So deserved, and so excited about that second series, which I believe is filming as we speak. Now, we've reached the final part of our Audience Award and our final 2 contenders, after which we'll reveal the winner. As if by magic, we welcome back Sanjeev Kohli.
Yes, so these are the last 2 contenders. Now, Outlander. Now, what can I say about Outlander? The juggernaut that is Outlander. It's a historical time-travelling drama based on the novels by Diana Gabaldon. It showcases Scottish history even to an international market. It's hugely successful. It's about to start filming its 6th series, and I still haven't been asked to audition for it yet. If I were to sum up how successful it's been, I would say this. I've met people who've actually moved to Scotland just to get a glimpse of Sam Heughan's knees. That is the pull of Outlander. And finally, River City. What can I say about River City? It's a historical time-travelling drama based on the novels by Diana Gabaldon. I'm just joking, of course. It is Scotland's continuing drama set in the fictional Shield Inch. We are currently filming series number 22, and it's hard for me to be objective about this because, well, my uncle's nephew's in this. Me, but I can tell you that I am very lucky to work with some of the best talent in this country on either side of the camera in every department. If I were to sum up how successful River City has been, I would say this. I met people who've actually moved to Scotland just to get a glimpse of my knees. That is the pull of River City.
Shall we take a look?
I think we should.
Possibly at your knees?
I hope
Let's
so.
see.
Audience Award in partnership with Screen Scotland. Outlander.
The show is about life.
Family.
Traveling through time.
Changing history.
Every season we try and put it into one sentence, and it's near impossible because Outlander is so much, you know, it's this action, romance, adventure.
At the heart of the story, there is this beautiful, aspirational love story.
That love story is central to the whole core of it. None of the other characters would be dragged into that kind of vortex.
I ken what love can make a man do.
I survived. And this... I am supposed to be shattered by this. Well, I won't be.
River City.
We've done camera tests where we get the characters walking together, talking together as if it looks like they're in the same frame, but they're not. So it's one that's shot safely and then someone else that's shot safely. So we're doing green screen. We've got actors working with tennis balls who are their eye line. So things have changed and the actors have to be far more technical now than they were before.
We've only done one scene so far, and it was in the Murdoch's flat, so it feels strange that we are strictly 2 metres apart, but once you start the scene, it's back to doing the same thing, and it's great to be back.
I have just cremated my father, and you decide to drop a bombshell.
I'm sorry.
You really are a piece of work, Steve.
You are the only person I have ever met who would think that someone saying that they love you is a bad thing.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Pack it into one of your suitcases and head off into the sunset.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry. I just came back to check my crumble had cooled. Maybe one of you could stick it in the fridge.
Oh, what a great line. It's lovely to see a bit of an insight into the productions and how it's working, you know, not the norm.
No.
New norm, really, for now anyway.
No, we started back filming in August, and I'm amazed at, I mean, they're very, very prescriptive about how they're filming. We've got these poor second ADs with actual metre-long sticks going, ho, hey, ho, and then jumping in. But it is amazing, like that Martin McCarty was just saying there about the tennis ball acting and all that stuff. It's amazing that they're still making television. So it just shows how the creative industry have just risen to the challenge.
Yeah, right, the time has come.
Yes,
you ready to announce the winner?
Yes, can I quickly actually thank the Bafta team for including Richard Rankin in that Outlander clip, because he said backstage if he's not in the clip, he would kneecap me. So
He's right behind you
thank
waiting.
you, Bafta. I know he's waiting there with a hammer. Okay, here we go. The winner of the Bafta Scotland Audience Award is... Outlander!
Here he is with a hammer. We're going to have a look at a speech to... we're going to look right now at an acceptance speech before we welcome Richard onto the stage.
Hi, I'm Meryl Davis, one of the executive producers on Outlander. On behalf of the entire Outlander team, I'm so excited to be accepting the Audience Award from the Scottish Baftas. This award is even more special because it's voted on by the fans, and we have the best fans in the world. I want to thank our amazing cast, our talented crew, and our incredible writers and producers. And most of all, I want to thank the fans, who have been amazing and supportive over the last 5 seasons. Thank you again. Sanjva.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Richard is here. Woo! Woo! Congratulations.
Is this mine?
No.
It's mine. Can I take this?
No, no, you can't. Don't touch it.
I'm not touching anything. I don't know what to say.
Something
Really, I
would be
don't know
good.
what to say. I was only told about this like 5 minutes ago. I have no idea what to say. Although it does seem quite fitting. I should pick this up, but I can't pick this up, given the graft and the performance that I put in season 5.
We've got a bigger one waiting for you backstage, that's why.
Of course you do, Edith. I know you'd be there for me. No, listen, this one, amazing. This one's for the fans. I think this one really is for the fans. They do say that we have the best fans out there, the Outlander fans, and I think this is testament to that. I think Meryl pretty much covered everything. I just want to say on behalf of the Outlander team, from me, from Sam, from Katrina, huge big thank you. We appreciate the support and we're very honoured with this award this year, so thank you very much.
Before you go, though, I can't not ask you where you are with it. What's going on with the new series? Can you tell anything?
With season 6 and all that. Well, obviously I've dove deep into the scripts of season 6, which we are in production with at the moment. And it's not that I haven't read them yet, Edith. It's not that I don't know what's going on, because I do, because I take my craft, my work very seriously. It's just that I can't tell you.
Obviously.
Not in front of the audience, anyway.
Obviously.
But as soon as we're cut here, I'll give you all the information that you need, that you want.
Great, yeah. Don't go anywhere. Now we honour this year's finest work by a director of fiction, and who better to present than a megalomaniac, press baron who wants to control the media in the excellent black comedy drama Succession. Earlier this year, his performance in that series won him a Golden Globe. Yet another honour in a great career. Please welcome Dundee's finest, Brian Cox.
Hello, Bafta, Scotland. These nominees bring us a dark and delicious thriller which launched the BBC Scotland channel last year. A gripping crime drama set in a seemingly idyllic Scottish community suddenly shattered by an awful event, and a moving mystery as told through the eyes of a woman impacted by dementia. Let's take a look.
Director, Fiction, sponsored by Champagne Tattinger. Robert McKillop, Guilt.
It's all over now, baby blue. It's all over now, baby blue. It's all over now, oh yeah.
Lindsay Miller, Deadwater Fell.
Fuck! Steve!
I think they're still in there.
Aisling Walsh, Elizabeth is Missing.
And the winner of the Bafta Scotland Award is Robert McKillop, Guilt.
Hi, I'm Robbie McKillop, Director of Guilt, and I'd like to say thank you to Bafta Scotland for this wonderful award. It means so much to everyone who worked on the series that Bafta Scotland have given so much recognition and nominations to the series at the awards this year, so thank you. I'd like to say thank you to BBC Scotland, BBC Two, Expectation Entertainment, Happy Tramp North, to executive producers Neil Webster, Kirsty MacDonald, producer Jules Hussey, and a massive thank you to Neil Forsyth for creating and writing such an incredible series full of wonderful characters, and the scripts were just phenomenal. It really was just an utter joy to bring this series to life. I'd like to say a really big thank you to the cast and crew. We had so much fun working together, and I hope you're all well. Thank you very much.
Huge congratulations. I cannot wait for Series 2. Now, we've reached the final award. How's that happened? Which is in the gift of Bafta Scotland. It recognises an outstanding contribution to film and television. And introducing the montage is Scottish journalist and writer Brian Beacom, who recently completed the authorised biography and knows this incredible performer well. He's joined by other friends, fans and colleagues paying tribute to the awesome talent of an aptly described comedy genius, Stanley Baxter.
Outstanding contribution to film and television.
I'm going to tear off that fancy dress and smother you all over with custard, sponge cakes and sherry.
No, I won't be trifled with.
Chuck us out of sight.
Stanley Baxter's success story is so far removed from reality TV work of today. At the age of 7, he was touring the west of Scotland in tiny talent competitions and picking up £10 shilling prize money. At 14, he was a radio star, and at 21, he was in the Far East with the likes of Kenneth Williams, touring in army review shows and having great success and fun.
Welcome to another edition of International Camper.
But of course he had to become a serious actor when he joined the Citizens Theatre Company in Glasgow and attempted to be serious, but that was pretty much far from Stanley's remit.
Note carefully the key word Helza. This we are apt to use at social functions, thus.
When the hell's a party starting?
Or why the hell's a birds no here? And most frequently we say, where the hell's the booze?
However, in recent weeks, what people have been talking about most is Stanley's sexuality. But those who really know him will understand that his predilection had already been hinted at. In fact, he gave us lots of clues. For example, in 1975, his brilliant pastiche of Pantomime's detective format came about when Cinderella hired her own private dick to find Prince Charming.
Don't you know anything, dum-dum? Aladdin, Dick Whittington, Robinson Crusoe, you name it. The principal boy is always a girl.
And I suppose every dame is a man.
Natch, that's the fun of it.
Fun, and my day was a federal rap.
Oh, rise up, Milo. It's Christmas. It's Pano time.
He's always been cheeky, he's always been suggestive, and perhaps I think his greatest sketch ever has been his Highland Wifey story.
Mistress McGregor, may I remind you that this is the Sabbath, and the good Lord disapproves of singing and dancing on the Sabbath.
Oh, but we're not dancing. We're having an orgy.
I think one of the most incredible things that ever happened to me was getting a postcard from Stanley Baxter. I'd taken part in a sort of a compilation show about his specials and just, you know, geeked out, fanboyed out about him. I did this interview thing called When Alan Cumming Met Stanley Baxter. I interviewed him, and it was just, honestly, one of the greatest honours of my life.
Oh, I wish things didn't have to change. This house is so full of memories. Remember the night that I came to you and told you that the old Queen had gone?
Yes, and I told you not to speak so disrespectful of Mr. Rapps.
His career is practically beyond description. I don't think there's anybody in the comedy business, television, that hasn't been influenced one way or another by Stanley's work.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Ceilidh. Tonight, Tom and I would like to give you a short resume of our meteoric rise to fame. You know, it seems like only yesterday that Tom and I were painters in Wishaw. It was yesterday.
And it was explained to me when I was young, the thing is, he's from Glasgow. I was thinking, how could that possibly be that all this Hollywood that was coming through our television in our living room be coming for a guy from Glasgow.
Mrs. Thatcher, the Prime Minister?
Nothing ever phases her. One day she's having her hair done, the next day she's sinking the Belgrano. She'll do anything, no matter how awful it is for her. Taking on the miners, talking to Jimmy Young.
I got the chance to work with him later on, and I was absolutely blown away with how he looked, how he was dressed, really sharp. And I said to him, "You're very dapper." And he went, "Yeah, see these? They're still the best fucking legs in the business."
To any male who's feeling frail, I'll put that zing back in your tail. Age can't wither nor custom stale, Miss Penicillin.
And the thing is, it's hard to argue with. He does have terrific legs. And he did have terrific legs when I was 9 or 10. That was very confusing.
I'm just delighted for him and for us as a country that we had such an amazing entertainer to grace our stages and screens over all these years. My experience of Stanley Baxter was on television. Unlike my experience watching Billy Connolly, it was actually what it did to my mother. The way my mother laughed.
Clovis, the manager's little daughter, is about to make the customary presentation to her Grace. The Duchess gracefully accepts a beef burger with onions.
And his ability to play women in particular, that women really recognised and liked, is really, really unusual. And although there was campery and all of that in there, there was great accuracy in there as well.
You see that violin he plays, Chrissy? Well, they tell me that it is 200 years old.
Oh no, that's a sin. We should all club together and get him a new one.
We did work together only once on radio, and sadly I was in Glasgow and he was in London, and I do remember his words to me when he said, Miss Smith, I believe you've stepped into my shoes at the King's in Glasgow. And my reply was, hell of a big shoes, Mr. Baxter, and I don't think I'd ever fill them. You know, you can make everybody cry, you can't make everybody laugh.
I'm Portuguese.
I remember growing up in Glasgow, and there was the Scottish humour, there was the Parliamo Glasgow, that was all hilarious for us Glaswegians, but there was something else, something really, really special about Stanley's comedy. I think it was because it was so ambitious, it was so big. You know, he satirized Hollywood, he parodied all sorts of television techniques. He was way, way ahead of his time. And for me, it told me that sitting there watching comedy on a wet Sunday evening, that actually we could be really big and bold with our comedy.
I've loved you since I was a kid. I don't think I'd ever seen anybody who managed to bring the sheer flamboyance and wit to comedy as you do. The intensity of your jokes, the perfect rhythm that you deliver them, the inspired surreality of having John Gielgud present the Generation Game, and getting a floor manager to shout Q Queen in a way that made Her Majesty look very flustered.
Tell her to face more to the right. No, not like on the 50p coin. That's it, fine. Okay, let's go again. From the top, please, Your Majesty.
Quiet, everybody, and Q Queen.
Hello, Stanley. Billy Connolly here. Hoping that you're nervous. I hope you're a wreck, sitting in your seat, feeling like hell. I know that you don't like this kind of thing, but you deserve it. Nobody deserves it more. The work you put in the 60s and the 70s stands on its own. You're a marvel, and you've got beautiful legs. Try and enjoy yourself.
I really do think that Stanley has, inadvertently probably, given me the sort of outlook that I have about acting and writing and everything I do, really, because so many of the things he was parodying, those sketches and big musical numbers and everything that I saw when I was a little boy, I was seeing his parodies of them before I'd seen the original things. So my whole sort of way that I look at life is that I'm looking for the parody even though it hasn't been parodied yet. And I'm really, really grateful to Stanley his work having infused me with it.
So this is a wonderful night for a wonderful man. I'm still trying to fill your shoes, Stanley, and I don't think that will ever happen. All the best.
You have such humility. You're everything that any comedian could hope to be, so thank you very, very much indeed.
We've never met. I feel I know you through the enormous influence you've had on what I like to watch and what I like to make. Congratulations.
In your own parlance, Mr. Baxter, you are a boss.
Well, I don't think I could have been anything else but a performer. I was so rotten at everything else I tried to do. Normally at school, you know, you find out there what you have a talent for. And it turned out that I had no talent at all. But really, it gave me all my interest was show business interest. And that was true all of my life. But I mean, it all started really with my mother dragging me around church halls when I was a child, doing sophisticated gags that I didn't even know the meaning of. She had me doing them, but looking back on it, it was probably a bit of a disgrace. And it was only when I came back to Scotland, said I want to do a Polyama Glasgow, and they said, "Are you sure that's what you want to do?" And I said, "Oh, I think so. I think that'll work very well." And it certainly did. I knew it had worked well when the orchestra all were laughing all the way through it. There was always a worry that they might find it too broad. But I knew damn well it wouldn't. The Scots were able to laugh at themselves. Of course they could. And so it proved to be. Well, of course, I didn't do much. In fact, I still haven't done very much on film. I wish I had done a lot more, and I plan to do more if I recover from this illness and get back to doing it. Thank you, Bafta Scotland, for this honour. I'm very, very, very pleased. Thanks a lot.
Wow, thank you, Stanley, for everything that you have given us. Stanley Baxter, 94 years young, still with beautiful and brilliant legs. There you have it, 17 awards virtually delivered. Congratulations to all the winners and the nominees. Thank you to our presenters and partners, and to you at home watching and for voting. I've been and will always be Edith Bowman, and despite these uncertain times, cúri in, keep the heat, and ara best from Glasgow.